Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. And this is our strong warrior practice today. In the month of October 2022, we're working on endurance in LisaBug classes. So we're going to focus mostly on our warrior poses. And I'm going to give us time to set up those poses with really good form and alignment, give you options for those poses that might work better for your body, and then we will hold them for a period of time, really focusing on grounding into the feet, bringing work into the lower body, into the legs, stabilizing through a strong core, and then extending upward with a lengthened spine. So I have for props, I have my chair today because we will be doing Warrior 3 for balance, and that might be something that you will need just a little assistance with. I have my block and my strap. So let's come to your mat in the long position, facing the long edge of your mat. Come into mountain and just roll your shoulders back just slightly. I want you to think about making this distance between the fronts of your shoulders equal to the distance in the backs of the shoulders. So as we lose good posture, the distance here in the fronts of our shoulders starts to decrease, while the distance in the back of our shoulders increases. So try to make that level and balanced. And we'll do that in each and every one of our strong warrior poses today. And I'd like for you to focus on the Ujjayi breathing. So if that's not something you've done before, imagine that you are fogging up your glasses. So you would take a breath in and go, but you do that without opening your mouth. So you keep the lips closed and make that same whisper sound. And you do that by constricting slightly the throat. So it closes the space of your throat a little bit. It allows you to extend your exhalation longer, and we'll use that to help us power through some of these long duration poses. So just focus on your Ujjayi breath. Deeply inhale through the nose. You're exhaling through the nose as well, but constricting the back of your throat. And you can hear that sound in your ears. Sometimes known as the whisper breath, because it sounds like a soft whisper. Also known as the victorious breath. And on a lighter side, some people call it the Darth Vader breath. So we'll take 3 more Ujjayi breaths. I know I heard a little chuckle from you guys. Two more. Feel your abdominals tense as you constrict the throat. Long exhalation. And one more time. And then just come back to a normal breath flow. So I'll remind you from time to time to focus on that Ujjayi breath. The more you do it, you'll get a little bit more proficient at it, and it really will help you to ignite these poses. We'll take a breath in, reach up. If you'd like, you can keep your hands separated, or you can press your palms, or even interlace your fingers together. Extend upward with the arms, but downward with the shoulder blades. So I want you to feel that connection of your lats, dropping your shoulders themselves down toward the floor while your arms are above your head. And we'll take a side stretch over to the right side. But try not to lean toward the right into your right foot. Keep your weight equally distributed. Come back to your Ujjayi breathing. So we feel stretching here, but we feel strengthening as we're stabilizing with our core. On your next inhale, come back up to neutral. Allow your arms to separate so we can relax the shoulders. Take your hands behind your back or at your hips and roll the backs of the shoulder blades together. Lift your arms up any amount from your back body, depending upon the strength of your back and the flexibility of your shoulders. Coming back to the Ujjayi breathing. Release that. Inhale, rising up. Same thing here. You can keep your hands slightly separated, press palms or interlace your fingers. Then let the arms rise up, but the shoulders drop down. Stabilize through your core and side stretch over to the left. Any amount you can go without leaning into your left foot. So keep pressing your right foot down into the floor. That's your Pada Bandha, your foot lock. And connect with the Ujjayi breath. So holding this pose, finding stretch in the right side waist and strength in the obliques and the back muscles and the core. One more breath. Rise up, let the hands separate. One more clasp behind the back for chest expansion, or you can just place your hands at your hips and pull your shoulder blades together. Send your elbows back. I almost feel an equal stretch here if I do it this way, and it doesn't seem to be as intense on my shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths here in chest expansion. And then release those arms. Step out to 5-pointed stars. So our arms are up at a nice wide angle. Our feet step out wide. And the 5 points are our 2 hands, our 2 feet, and the top of our head. And I want you to try to stretch those 5 points as far away from the midsection of your body as possible. But with the arms reaching up, try not to let the shoulders elevate. So press shoulders down. So you're locking your shoulder girdle strongly in place. And we'll take a breath here. Inhale. And then exhale and bend your knees into goddess squat. Your elbows bend and your wrists will flex. So I have my fingertips pointing out to the right and left sides of my mat. Pull your shoulder blades back. Pull your abdominals in. And feel the intensity of this pose in your legs, in your arms. Try to squeeze your bicep muscles. The arms are imagining, or you're imagining that your arms are holding up 2 really heavy objects here. The amount that you sink down with your legs is all up to you. And if this is bothersome to your shoulders, just bring it down right in here to more a relaxed position for the shoulders. Now we'll take a flow with your breathing. So inhale up to 5-pointed star and lengthen as much as you can without letting your shoulder blades elevate. Exhale into goddess squat. Try that Ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose, but with a constricted throat, making that whisper breath. Two more repetitions. One more time, 5-pointed star. Goddess squat and hold. See if there's any way you can fine tune your posture here. One more breath. And inhale to 5-pointed star. Just drop your arms next to the side of your body as you exhale. So we'll turn the right foot way out toward the right side of the mat, and then pivot your left foot so it's parallel with the left side of your mat or slightly turned in just a little bit. And see if you can square your hips straight ahead. This requires some flexibility of your hips. So if you cannot, you can go on any angle toward this side that you need to. And deeply bend your right knee as we come into Warrior Two. So I'm not going to focus on our arms yet because I want you to really get the stance from the floor. We'll build this pose from the foundation moving up. So first things we want to think about is, where is this knee in relationship to the front foot? So you want to make sure it's not bowing in this way. So pull that knee back by firing the right glute to keep it in alignment with the ankle. This knee is straight, so contract through your quadriceps on this side, let the muscles hug the bone, and squeeze your gluteal muscle. There should be a straight line from your right heel through the arch of your back foot. It's known as heel to arch alignment. Then we can extend the arms no higher than the tops of your shoulders. So a little bit lower is even better. And then we'll turn the palms up and completely externally rotate the arms. Try to make the distance between the fronts of your shoulders the same as the back of your shoulders, and keep your shoulder blades down. Holding that position, just turn your palms only to face the floor. You're still rotated outwardly with the upper arm, and we're rotating through the forearms. Now we hold. So if you need to rest your arms, please feel free to do that. Take a break. But we're building endurance in this pose into our shoulders, endurance in the legs. Maybe you can adjust the pose just a little bit more as we hold. And you can look out over the right fingertips. Come into your Ujjayi breath. Takes a lot of mind-body breath connection, the 3 Bs, the brain, the breath, and the body, to endure holding these strong warrior poses. We have 15 seconds left to hold our Warrior Two. Bring your head back to the front. Relax your arms and straighten out your right leg. We'll pivot your right foot in, your left foot turns out, and take your time to find your stance here. Now you can take your stance as wide as you feel comfortable. Your goal, if you'd like to go there, is to have your feet be as wide apart as your wrists. But that's okay if you're not in that long of a stance. I want you to feel comfortable. Take this left knee and pull it back toward the pinky toe side of your foot. Notice how your hip, if it's tighter on this side, maybe your torso will be turned a little bit more toward the corner, but try to bring it around to the front as much as possible. Stabilize through strong legs, through your Pada Bandha connection, and this left thigh is really engaged, the glute is tightened. And we'll extend the arms out a little bit lower than shoulder height. Roll your palms up to turn your shoulders back towards your back pockets. Drop your shoulder blades down. Then only turn your palms to face the floor. Maybe you can bend this knee a little deeper. Take this pose wherever you feel comfortable. But set the bar for yourself for some intensity and endurance. And then we can take the head and gaze out over the left hand, and we hold the pose with the Ujjayi breathing. Notice where you're feeling the most work in the body. Is it your shoulders just to hold your arms up? Is it your front leg as that knee is bent, supporting the weight of the upper body? Do you feel the core working as you're breathing? Strong warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. 15 seconds we'll hold. And bring your head back to face the front. Relax the arms, the shoulders down. Straighten this leg. Pivot that foot in. We'll take a nice inhalation, stretch up. Then exhale and come into a forward fold, any amount that you'd like to go. So you can use your chair to support yourself. You can use a block. If you're fairly flexible, you can come all the way down to reach the hands. And we'll hold here in a resting pose. Focusing on the flexibility of the backs of the legs, hamstrings and calves. The stretch through the lower back, the lumbar spine. And try to relax your head. Allow gravity to act as traction to release any tension in your shoulders and in your cervical spine. One more breath here in wide leg forward fold. Then to come out of it, you can either roll your spine up or you can keep your back flat and bring your hands to your hips and pull up with a nice neutral spine. Then step your feet back in. You can heel toe, you can jump your feet together, you can just walk, walk, walk until you come back to mountain. Coming back to the Ujjayi breath. Notice how you're feeling in your legs. Maybe the breath has increased in depth and rate of the breath. And then we'll step into warrior 1. So take your right foot, and I'm just going to stay here in this position so you can see the pose from this direction, but you can also turn sideways. Right foot will be in front, your left foot steps back, and your hips stay nice and squared. So I want you to see what is the distance between your hips and make sure your feet are that wide apart as well. So this gives us a nice strong base of support. The back foot is facing forward or has a little bit small turnout to that left side. The front knee is bent any amount, and we'll lift the arms and extend upward through the fingertips, but the shoulders press down. You can also clasp the hands like we did with the side bend and interlace the fingers. Let the biceps hug the ears. Keep the hips squared forward, and we will hold. So the front knee is bent any amount. The back leg is straight and strong. So fire your quadriceps on the back leg, the upper leg muscles, your gluteals. And then we'll take the side bend we did in our very first pose, and that moves toward the right leg, the front leg. Keep the weight evenly distributed in the front foot and the back foot. Connect with the Ujjayi breath. Where are you feeling the work? Surprisingly for me, it's in my front foot shin. I'm feeling it up the front of my shin muscle on that front leg. One more breath. Bring it up. Allow the hands to separate and interlace them behind your back. You can also bring hands at your hips. From our Warrior One, we will take a bow forward into Humble Warrior. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my pose for you on a little bit of a diagonal. I'm still squared toward the front knee, and start to bow the shoulder down toward the knee and let your head relax. So we still have the front knee bent, the back leg straight. The arms are lifting any amount from our back body into chest expansion. You can also use your yoga strap for this position, arms behind your back. Stabilize into your feet. Press into all four corners of the feet. Connect with the Ujjayi breath. And let's hold another 3 slow breaths. Let that third exhalation start to pull the body up, pushing into that front foot to support you. Release the hands from the back body. We'll take 1 breath in to let the arms rise. Then exhale and lower. We'll reverse our stance. So this back foot steps forward. Our left foot becomes the front leg. The right foot steps back. Now I'm demonstrating a pretty short stance, Warrior One. I don't have a long distance between my front foot and back foot, but you can explore a longer stance if you'd like here in this pose. Hips are squared. It's called a closed hip pose. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Back foot can be straight forward or slightly turned out to the left. Create equal distance between the front and back of your shoulders and let your arms come up. If this feels okay for you, try not to let the elevation happen of the shoulders. They're down. And you can keep the arms here. You can clasp the hands. You can interlace the fingers. Find the Ujjayi breath. And then slowly, being careful of your balance, take it over to the side stretch. So that shifts your body off of its center of gravity. So the core needs to engage more. More endurance from the core. Endurance from the legs. And that mind-body connection, the brain, the breath, and the body. Come back to that Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath. Allow it to help you stabilize here. We inhale back up. Release the hands. Exhale them down. They can go to your hips, behind you clasped, or you can grab your yoga strap and hold it behind you as well to take a nice chest expansion. I'm going to turn on a little bit of an angle here. We'll inhale to prepare for our humble warrior. Exhale and slowly bow forward, any amount. Now, when you come into humble warrior, you have a really good view of the inside of the arch of your back foot. So I want you to look at your foot there and make sure that you're not collapsing and flattening your arch. So try to lift the arch up and press some of your body weight into the outside blade of that back foot. Scoop your abs in as we hold our humble warrior. Front knee is bent, back leg is nicely straight. And 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Let that third exhalation help you to rise up, pressing into the front foot. Nice and strong through your quadricep. Release the arms. Take one breath to let them rise. A little bit of a counter position. Then exhale to lower down and step yourself back into mountain pose. Just to check in, notice how you're feeling. How's the shoulders? How's the knees and the back and the hips? Then moving again, the long edge of our mat, step yourself back into a nice 5-pointed star. Shoulder blades down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, goddess squat. Flex your wrists. So I'm using my forearm muscles here to pull my fingers down. A nice wrist flexion. Then inhale, up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, lower the arms, and we'll pivot the right foot out, the left foot in to come back to our warrior two. So quickly set up your heel to arch alignment. Keep that knee toward the pinky toe side of the foot. And we'll extend through the arms. The palms are down, but the shoulders are rotated back. So if you need to go here first to get that good position and then turn your palms, wonderful. See if there's anything you can tweak here in your stance. Then turn your right palm back up, your left one is down, and we'll come into reverse warrior. So here we start to side bend our body to the left. The left hand can just gently relax here, or you can bring it behind your back, and the right arm is either straight up or it starts to come over just a bit. And this is a side stretch, so it's not that much of a back bend. So I'm not rotating my body back this way. I am side stretching. Your gaze can be down toward the back foot, being aware of your arch, keep it lifted off the mat. Or you can turn your gaze upward, a little bit more challenge for balance here. Now let's hold our reverse warrior, sometimes known as sun warrior. 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Pull your body back up. Extend back out into warrior two with both palms down. Then we'll come into a side angle pose here. So start to stretch your body way out toward the right. Then let your elbow come down to your thigh and reach the left arm up. And keep turning your body forward. So try not to drop your shoulder down. It's not a forward bend. It's again a side stretch. And this arm can also continue to reach closer and closer toward your ear. Now by this time, we've been in our warrior two stance for a while, so we're creating a lot of endurance in the isometric work of those muscles. If you need to take a little break, feel free to do that. If you're flexible enough, you can use your block to lower down a little bit more. Some can reach their hand all the way to the floor. So wherever you need to be here. And we can also release any support of that lower arm, which really creates endurance in our core here in our side angle pose. Then we'll combine reverse warrior and side angle and warrior two with the Ujjayi breath. So on your next inhale, come up to warrior two. On your exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. So for one more minute, I'd like for you to go at your own pace. If you'd like to hold the poses a little bit longer than 1/2 breath, feel free to do that. And this is a lot of endurance in the foundation of the pose. So notice where you're feeling the most work. Is it the front of the right thigh? The right glute? Again, I'm feeling it in my shin for some reason today. My foot must be really stabilizing here. And the next time you come to warrior two, we finished our minute. Hold 3 breaths, gazing over the right fingertips. And I'm starting to feel a little shaking in that front leg from the endurance of the pose. Head comes back to the center, arms relax. Straighten out your front leg, pivot both feet straight forward. We'll inhale. Exhale into a wide leg forward fold. This is our rest and recovery. Using any props that you need to here, just try to relax. And let that feeling of work from the warrior pose begin to dissolve. The heart rate begin to slow. The responses of our recovery. Then either rolling up or a neutral spine, rising up with a flat back. And we'll pivot the left foot out. Coming into our warrior two stance, we have the heel to arch alignment. We have the knee pressing back to the pinky toe side of the foot. The shoulder blades are down. And turn your left palm up as we move into reverse warrior. So we side bend any amount that our spine can comfortably bend. The arm can come behind the back. And then this hand can keep reaching to open up through the left side waist. Our gaze can go down toward the back foot, keeping the arch lifted, or we can challenge our balance by taking the gaze up. Maybe you can bend that front knee a little bit deeper. Come to your Ujjayi breath. Strong warrior endurance. One more breath. Slowly bring your body back to your warrior two. Then reach out long toward the left side of your mat, bringing the elbow down to support on the thigh for side angle or extended side angle. And the difference is just where your arm is located. So if your arm is straight up, that's side angle. You can also put your hand on your hip. Or extended side angle is to reach that arm close to your ear. Roll your top shoulder back. You can also unweight this pose. So you're using your core here to support your body at that 45-degree angle. 3 more breaths. Rise back up. Warrior 2. And we'll put these poses together with the breath. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, Reverse Warrior. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, Side Angle. At your own pace for a 1-minute flow. And notice that there's nothing moving from your pelvis down. So as you're side bending and moving your arms, all of this from your pelvis down is still, just like you're in cement. Really stable through a strong foundation. If you need to take more than a half breath in each pose, feel free to do so. Make this your own paced flow. Just connect it in some way to your breathing. And the next time you come to Warrior 2, that finishes your sequence. Hold 3 breaths, checking your alignment. And as you exhale that 3rd breath, the gaze comes back to the center, the arms drop, the front leg straightens, and the foot pivots in. We'll take 1 more wide leg forward fold. Breathe in and swan dive down. See if you can take this a little further. This is our 3rd time we've been in this place. So find your edge and relax. Two more Ujjayi breaths. And then either rolling up to restack your spine or bringing your hands to your hips, and with a neutral back, pull yourself all the way back up. And we'll step our feet back together. You can heel toe, you can do a little jump, or walk your feet. Take as many steps as you need. Come back to your mountain. Ooh, I am feeling those legs. And those of you that were with me on Tuesday with that technique that we used, my quads are definitely sore. I taught it again in the virtual studio that day, so I did it twice. So I'm definitely feeling that today. Let's come into our balance pose. So I'm going to turn toward my chair so that I can use it for balance. You can also use a wall. So Warrior 3 comes from Warrior 1. So I'd like you to step your right foot forward and your left foot back into a short stance Warrior 1. So I have hips squared and the arms reach up, shoulder blades press down. So Warrior 1 really does look exactly like this, but my body is tipped forward any amount and I'm off of my back foot. For today, let's lower our arms down to shoulder level or press your palms at your heart just to relax the shoulders. Then shift your body weight into your front foot and just barely pick your back foot off the floor. And you can use your chair to support, and I want you to make sure your standing knee is slightly bent and your back leg is straight, the foot is flexed, and your toes are pointing down toward the floor. From here, you can start hinging from the hip any amount more. Your leg rises up the same amount, so you have a nice straight line from your heel through your knee, through your hip, through the shoulders, and through the crown of the head. Now, this is endurance today in our balance. So if you need to use your fingertips on your chair to make you feel a little bit more successful in holding this, I want you to do that. But if you have to step out of the pose or lose your balance, that's all right. Just take your time to come back in. The palms can be pressed at the heart. The arms can be reaching out long, back behind you like airplane arms. And keep that Ujjayi breath flowing. Now, there's a lot of work in the supporting leg in your hip to hold these balance poses. So keep that intensity and let's hold 15 seconds. One more breath. And see if you can step right back into your warrior one. Raise the arms, inhale. Exhale, lowering them down. Step back or forward with the back foot so you can come into your mountain. Just notice what you're feeling in that supporting leg. A lot of work there, a lot of endurance. Let's switch our stance. So left foot is the front leg, right foot steps back to a short stance, warrior one. Really square your hips. So what happens when we stand on one foot and balance is our hips want to stack this way instead of staying squared. That's one of the challenges of warrior three. So if we start with squared hips, it gives us a better chance of accessing this position when we're balancing. The hands come forward, the shoulder blades are down. Keep your core engaged as you shift your body weight forward to lift your back foot off the floor, just a small amount first. And keep your hips squared. Really straighten your back leg. Flex your foot so that leg is really strong. Then we start to hinge forward any amount, using that chair if we need. And this leg for me is so much more successful in balance. I can feel such a big difference. And that's normal. It might be the case for you as well. Or maybe this side's a little bit more difficult for you. So let's find some endurance here in our balance. If you need to step out of the pose, try not to rush back into it. Take your time to find your good form, good alignment. And notice what your head's doing, because that's a big part here of your balance. You're looking for a focal point. In yoga, it's called the drishti. So try to find some place to gaze upon with a neutral alignment. And we'll hold another 15 seconds. Strong warrior three pose. Mighty Virabhadrasana. One more breath. Then step back to warrior one, planting that foot. Let the arms rise. Inhale. And exhale to release them down. We'll reach our fingertips down to the mat and step back to a downward facing dog. Now you can also use your chair if you have it right here in front of you. Just step your feet back and elongate through the lats and the shoulders while we're pressing our heels down to the mat. Now, sometimes downward dog is a recovery pose, but most times for most of us, it is a working pose. So notice what this feels like for you today. Can you get into this pose and just kind of relax here? Or is it a pose where you always feel like you're working? And there's no right or wrong answer to that question. It's just, how does this pose fall for you in this moment? In this moment being, we are 90%, 95% finished with our working portion of the class. Our body's a little fatigued. If your wrists are bothering you, you can drop down to your forearms and take dolphin. So with endurance being our goal this month, my goal is to hold this downward dog as we did with our warriors. Focusing on lengthening the back of the legs, strong through your shoulder girdle. And if those hamstrings are tight, bend your knees any amount. Make this feel like you can accomplish this pose with the body you've been given in this moment today. And we'll hold 15 seconds, but certainly drop into child's pose at any time if you need. The last breath in. And then allow your knees to drop to the mat. And we'll take traditional child's pose Balasana by bringing the arms next to the sides of the legs. The forehead comes down to the mat if that feels comfortable for you. You can place the block under your forehead. You can even place the block under your seat if this is too deep of a knee bend. And try not to put a lot of weight into your head. You should be able to gently lift it up off the mat easily. And just kind of imagine you have a little marshmallow under your forehead and you don't really want to squish it, but you're still relaxing your head there. Now this pose again can be very relaxing, very restorative. For some folks it feels like work to be in this pose. It's more difficult to take in a full breath. So as you inhale for your Ujjayi breath, allow the back of your ribs to open to accommodate the air into the lungs rather than the belly. And hold here 3 more breaths. Then make your way to a comfortable seat. Just easy pose, easy cross-leg pose. Or you can even have a seat in your chair. And find that good neutral spine. Try to create an equal distance between the front of your shoulders and the back of the shoulders. And inhale to reach the arms. You can keep them shoulders distance apart. You can press them together, interlace the hands, the index fingers, or you can hold your yoga strap above your head. Now feel equal tension into both of your sitting bones. So your hips are level and your weight is balanced. We'll take a side stretch over without leaning over into your right glute. So keep pressing that left hip down. We began with this pose today from a standing position. So we're stretching through the left side waist, but we're strengthening here through our core by holding this pose. If that's too much work, then this right hand supports you on the mat. Back to your Ujjayi breath. One more breath in. And let the exhale propel you back to the top. Relax your arms down and place your hands right onto your thighs. We'll make a circle with the spine. So start to the right side and come forward. To the left side and slightly back. To the right. Forward. Left and back. One more time. Till you come back to equal weight distribution in your sitting bones. Prepare for your side stretch. So if you want to use your strap, grab that. Otherwise, lift those arms. Either keep them shoulders distance apart or interlace them above the head. Inhale deeply, shoulder blades are down. Exhale to the left. So we can certainly go farther if we rock over and lift our right hip off the mat, and I'm over exaggerating that, but I want you to notice if you feel equal weight distribution into both sitting bones. It's very hard to do in a side bend. Come back to the Ujjayi breath. Strengthening while we are lengthening. One more breath in. Exhale, bring it up. Relax the arms down. Place your hands on top of your knees. We'll stir the spine and the pelvis starting to the left side. Rolling to the front. To the right side. And slightly to the back. And as best as you can, keep your weight equally distributed in the sitting bones. You might feel a little bit of a weight shift, but keep it minimal. Let's come around one more time. And then once you come back to neutral, switch the cross of your ankles if you're sitting in simple cross pose. And we'll take the right arm, reach it up, place it across the left thigh. Left arm is behind you to create a second spine. Lengthen upward. Then start to rotate to the left, look over your left shoulder, and hold and breathe. Notice the range of motion you have on this side, keeping your pelvis neutral and equal weight into both sitting bones. Now keep your twist to the left with your body, but just turn your head toward your right shoulder, and this is a spiral twist. So our head is going the opposite direction from our sternum. Then bring the chin to neutral, the spine back to neutral. Lengthen the left arm up. Place it across the right knee. You're using it like a little anchor. Right hand behind you. Lengthen upward first with your spine. Then twist. And I am slightly pressing into this hand to give me a little bit more rotation, but we need to be gentle with that when we're twisting. And try not to force the twist with a lot of power. And notice any differences in your range of motion to this side. Maybe it's in your neck this way. Then keep your twist to the right, but turn your head toward the left. Spiral twist, and keep pressing your right shoulder back. So you're creating a little bit of dynamic tension into the muscles of the neck, upper trapezius muscles, the levator scapula muscles. Then bring your head back to neutral, your spine to neutral as well. And then reach your fingertips out and fold any amount forward and stretch your lower back. You can let your chin drop. Breathe into the back body. Then realign your spine to neutral. We'll close our eyes for a few breaths. Hands can stay on top of the knees, or you can press palms at heart center as we just check in one more time on how our body's feeling today. Bringing your awareness to anything you learned today about your body or about the warrior poses, about your yoga practice. Any aha moments that you can take away with you today. And we close our practice with this Anjali Mudra. It's our symbol of gratitude and honor. I am honored to be your teacher and so grateful for this opportunity to practice virtually. And the light and peace and joy that reside within me honor the light, peace, and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Hopefully that was a great practice today for endurance of your body. Remember, your yoga practice is a journey, and as we are more consistent with it, that journey increases our endurance and the health of our spirit, mind, and body. I'll turn our recording off. If you can stay and chat, I would love to hear from you and see how you did today. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow in our cardio endurance class. Thanks, everybody.